Welcome to the Ghost Call, where every whisper hides a curse, every silence screams the truth, and every episode pulls you deeper into darkness. Tonight, a forgotten village, a cursed bloodline, and a mirror that remembers everything. This is Episode 1, The Letter. Stay with us if you dare. Open Book Story begins. In a quiet corner of Bangladesh, surrounded by dense bamboo groves and misty rice fields, lay the nearly forgotten village of Chhayabagan. The village was not on any map. People from the nearby town of Chhayabagan would whisper about it, never loudly, never in daylight. One rainy evening in Dhaka, Rafiq, a 22-year-old university student, received a strange letter. It was old-fashioned, written on yellowed paper with jagged handwriting. The envelope had no return address. You are the last of the Rahman bloodline. Chhayabagan awaits. Do not ignore the call. Come before the moon turns twice. Rafiq's hands trembled. His grandfather used to mention the village in drunken rambles, always followed by prayers and tears. The family had left it decades ago, after a terrible fire. Rafiq asked his mother. Her face turned pale. Never go there, Rafiq. That place, it doesn't forget. But curiosity won. Rafiq packed a bag, took his grandfather's old diary, and boarded a bus to Chhayabagan. From there, a reluctant boatman agreed to take him near the village. I'll drop you at the bamboo bridge, the boatman warned. But I won't cross. Shadows walk in Chhayabagan after sunset. As Rafiq stepped onto the bridge, the air shifted. Mist clung to him like fingers. He crossed into a village swallowed by time. Abandoned huts, half-burnt homes, and at the center, the Rahman house, moss-covered and towering. Inside, he found a dusty portrait of his grandfather, his eyes violently scratched out. Beneath it, fresh red stains that looked like blood. Then came the whisper, Rafiq. The back door creaked open on its own. A long hallway appeared, lined with tall mirrors. As he walked through it, Rafiq realized his reflection wasn't copying him. It was smiling. You came back, it whispered. Just like they said. The door slammed shut. Rafiq panicked. The walls moaned. Shadows multiplied in every mirror. He turned, nothing behind him. A voice echoed from deep within the house. This is your home now. Rafiq stood frozen. Dozens of reflections stared back at him from the long, cracked mirrors. Each mirror showed a different version of himself, some smiling unnaturally, others crying blood, and one completely headless. He screamed, banging on the wooden door behind him, but it wouldn't budge. The reflections began to move independently, whispering in unison. The bloodline returns. The debt must be paid. Suddenly, one of the mirrors cracked from the inside. A shadowy hand pushed against the glass. Rafiq stumbled backward. The mirror shattered with a screeching sound, and out stepped a young girl, pale, eyes dark and hollow, wearing an old-school uniform drenched in black water. She looked at Rafiq. You shouldn't have come, she said softly. Now you've awakened them. Who are you? Rafiq asked, trembling. I was like you, a Rahman. They trapped me here, in the house, in the mirror. Suddenly, the walls of the mirror room began to shift. The mirrors stretched into tall archways, showing flickering scenes, fires, screams, rituals, and a young boy being buried alive. Who is that? Rafiq asked, staring at the boy in one of the archways. That's you, the girl replied. Or who you were, long ago. Everything spun. His vision blurred. He felt a force pulling him into the mirror archways. He saw a woman chanting in front of a burning tree. A circle of villagers in white, surrounding a crying child tied to a post. He saw his grandfather raising a knife, and something inside him shattered. Then silence. Rafiq gasped, waking up on the cold wooden floor of the Rahman house, outside the mirror room. The hallway was gone. It was morning. He stumbled to his feet and saw a mark burned into the wooden floor, an old symbol, a circle with 3 eyes. He opened his grandfather's diary again. The symbol was there, the eye of return. Once marked, the soul is watched. Escape is no longer possible. Rafiq looked around. He wasn't alone anymore. From the shadows near the staircase, the girl from the mirror was standing, her eyes no longer hollow, but glowing. You still don't remember, do you? She whispered. That was episode 1 of The Whispering Village, only on the Ghost Call. The deeper Rafiq goes, the more the village remembers. Like, comment, and subscribe, and don't miss episode 2, The Buried Boy. Until then, keep listening to the whispers. Welcome back to the Ghost Call. Rafiq has awakened something ancient in the cursed village of Chhayabagan. Last time, a ghostly girl revealed a terrifying truth. This isn't Rafiq's first time here. Tonight, his forgotten past begins to surface. This is episode 2, The Buried Boy. Rafiq stumbled out of the house, desperate for air, his mind spinning from what he'd seen. The mark on the floor still burned in his memory, the eye of return. The ghostly girl was gone, but the whispers had followed him outside. He walked through the village ruins, guided by flickers of memory. He stopped at a clearing near a dead tree, where the earth seemed newer. He kneeled and brushed away the dirt. Underneath, he found a child's grave. The name on the wooden sign was blurred, but one thing was clear, his own last name, Rahman. Suddenly, he heard digging, not far off. He turned and saw a shadow with long arms, scraping the earth with bare hands. It paused, then it looked up. Its face was wrapped in cloth, its mouth stitched shut, but its eyes were his. "You left me here," the figure whispered without moving its lips. Rafiq screamed and ran, but the ground beneath him caved. He fell into a burial pit, surrounded by broken dolls, bones, and ritual objects. A voice echoed from above. "One of you was buried, one of you returned. But both belong to us." Rafiq passed out in the darkness. Candle to be continued. That was episode 2, The Buried Boy on the Ghost Call. What did Rafiq do in his past life? Who was buried in his place? Like, subscribe, and don't miss episode 3, The Circle of Eyes. Previously on the Ghost Call, Rafiq unearthed a forgotten grave and saw a terrifying doppelganger with his own eyes. Now, the truth sharpens and the Watchers awaken. This is episode 3, The Circle of Eyes. Open book story. Rafiq woke up in the Rahman house again, but something was different. The mirrors were covered, all except one. In it, he saw a ritual chamber, not a reflection, but a live image. Figures in white robes stood around a fire, their faces hidden behind masks with a single eye painted in red. He blinked, and suddenly, he was inside the ritual. "Begin the circle of eyes," someone commanded. He looked down and realized he was standing in the center, bound by invisible force. The girl was there too, kneeling beside him. "You see it now, don't you?" she whispered. "We were sacrifices." The crowd began to chant. Flames circled them. From the shadows, monstrous figures with too many limbs crawled out, whispering ancient curses. One of the masked elders removed their hood. It was his grandfather. "We made a pact to protect the village. You and she were the price." Rafiq screamed, breaking free of the illusion. He awoke gasping, but now the symbol of the eye was carved into his skin, glowing faintly. A knock came at the door. When he opened it, a masked child stood there. "The circle has begun again. This time, finish it, or the village will never rest." Candle to be continued. That was episode 3, The Circle of Eyes, only on the Ghost Call. Rafiq is caught in a cycle of sacrifice. Can he break it, or become part of it forever? Don't miss episode 4, Voices in the Bamboo. Tonight on the Ghost Call, Rafiq is marked. The rituals have begun. And now, the bamboo forest speaks. This is episode 4, Voices in the Bamboo. Open book story. With no answers left in the house, Rafiq wandered into the bamboo grove, following strange whispers. The deeper he went, the quieter the world became. No birds, no wind, just whispers. "Help me. He never saved us. Rahman must pay." The bamboo shifted unnaturally, opening paths that led him in circles. He found carvings on the trunks, names, dates, all children. Then he heard it, a familiar lullaby, one his mother used to sing. He followed it to a clearing where a group of ghostly children sat in a circle, heads tilted, eyes completely white. They sang in unison. "Round and round the fire we go, one to burn, one below." He turned to leave, but the path was gone. The bamboo had closed around him. Suddenly, hands reached from the ground and pulled him into the earth. He fell through darkness, landing in a cold chamber. On the walls, photographs of every Rahman child, including himself. "You were never supposed to survive," a voice said. He turned and saw the girl again, but now her face was half skeletal. "They chose you, and they'll keep choosing, unless you win the curse." Candle to be continued. Studio microphone, outro, 15 seconds voiceover. That was episode 4, Voices in the Bamboo on the Ghost Call. What is the truth behind Rafiq's family? Can the curse be broken? Or will the forest claim him next? Like, subscribe, and prepare for episode 5, The Fire Beneath. Previously on the Ghost Call, Rafiq uncovered the lost children of Chhayabagan, trapped in the cursed bamboo grove. But the deeper he digs, the more his bloodline's sins are revealed. Tonight, the truth begins to burn. This is episode 5, The Fire Beneath. Open book story. Rafiq lay inside the underground chamber, his body bruised, mind spinning. The photographs of Rahman's children stared down at him. Suddenly, the walls cracked, and behind them, fire flickered. He touched a loose stone. Behind it, a hidden tunnel lit with glowing coals. The tunnel led to an ancient ritual cave. Burnt dolls, broken masks, and ashes of old offerings lay scattered. In the center stood a stone altar, and etched onto it, the Samai symbol, now burning faintly red. From behind the altar, the ghost girl stepped out, but this time her voice was firm. "This is where they took us. This is where we burned." Rafiq's head pounded. A memory returned of himself as a child, watching helplessly as a group of villagers lit a fire and pushed someone he loved into it. "You didn't stop them," the girl whispered. "You watched, and they spared you." The fire flared, and from the flames emerged dozens of burned spirits, wailing. They dragged Rafiq toward the altar. "You were saved by a curse. Now repay the price." Suddenly, the ground trembled. The altar split open, revealing a staircase downward. The spirits hissed, retreating from the light. Rafiq descended. At the bottom, an ancient scroll wrapped in red cloth. On it, a symbol older than the eye. A different mark. "The mark of release," the girl said. "But it demands blood. Yours. Candle to be continued." That was episode 5, The Fire Beneath on the Ghost Call. Rafiq holds the secret to break the curse, but will it cost him his life? Stay tuned for episode 6, The One Who Watches. On the Ghost Call, the curse of Chhayabagan deepens. Rafiq has found the mark of release. But now, a new presence awakens. The one who started it all. This is episode 6, The One Who Watches. Open book story. Clutching the ancient scroll, Rafiq emerged from the cave only to find the village covered in a thick red mist. Everything was silent, too silent. No ghosts, no whispers. Only one figure stood waiting. A tall man in black robes. No face, no features. Just a single, large red eye floating where the face should be. "You've come far, Rahman," the figure said. "But this story began with me." The mist swirled, and suddenly, Rafiq was transported to the past, centuries ago. He watched villagers starving, dying. A plague. Then a young man, a Rahman ancestor, offered a solution. "Bind the spirits. Feed them children of our bloodline. Let the village live." A pact was made. The eye was carved. Sacrifices began. And through it all, the Watcher stood, growing stronger each year. Back in the present, the Watcher raised a hand. "Break the curse, and I die. But so do the souls bound to it." Rafiq realized, if he ended it, all the trapped spirits, even the innocent children, might vanish. The ghost girl appeared beside him. "We are already dead. Let us rest." Rafiq held the scroll tightly. The choice was coming. Candle to be continued. That was episode 6, The One Who Watches. The curse has a creator, but to destroy him, Rafiq must lose everything. Don't miss episode 7, The Red Moon Ritual. This is the Ghost Call. The end is near, and the final ritual has begun. Under the cursed red moon, the truth will be revealed, and blood will be demanded. This is episode 7, The Red Moon Ritual. Open book story. The red moon rose above Chhayabagan, casting crimson light across the village. The spirits gathered around the ritual altar. The children, the elders, the victims. Even Rafiq's mother appeared, her eyes tearful. "You were never meant to return," she said. "But now that you have, you must finish what we couldn't." The Watcher towered above the altar, arms outstretched. The scroll began to burn in Rafiq's hands, activating the final rite. The ghost girl placed her hand on his chest. Her touch was cold, but peaceful. "You have to bleed. Not to die, but to give." Rafiq stepped into the circle, drawing the ancient symbol on his palm with a shard of mirror. "I offer my blood," and released the bound. The sky shook. The ground split. The Watcher screamed, his body crumbling into ash. The spirits cried out, some in fear, others in relief. The red moon flickered. Then total silence. Rafiq opened his eyes. The altar was gone. The house was gone. Only the bamboo grove remained, now peaceful. Birds chirped. Light returned. but on Rafiq's arm, the eye still glowed. Candle to be continued. That was episode 7, the Red Moon Ritual on the Ghost Call. The curse may be broken, but some evil never truly dies. Don't miss the shocking finale in episode 8, Return to Dust. Last time on the Ghost Call, Rafiq performed the final ritual under the cursed red moon, freeing the souls, or so he thought. But the curse runs deeper than death. This is episode 8, Return to Dust. Open book story. Rafiq wandered through the now silent Chhayabagan. The bamboo grove had stilled. The spirits were gone. It seemed over. But something was wrong. The air felt too quiet. The trees no longer cast shadows. Then he found it, the grave he had uncovered in episode 3, now empty, and carved into the dirt. Not all dust rests. That night, he had dreams of being buried alive over and over, waking up gasping, dirt in his nails. His body was decaying. He was becoming the buried boy again. The curse hadn't ended. It had shifted. Rafiq wasn't the savior. He was the next vessel. Candle to be continued. That was episode 8, Return to Dust. The ritual didn't end the curse, it passed it on. Don't miss episode 9, The Blood Memory. On the Ghost Call, Rafiq's body begins to rot as the buried boy's soul infects him. Now, only a forgotten memory, written in blood, can save him. This is episode 9, The Blood Memory. Open book story. Desperate, Rafiq searched the ruins for answers. In the basement of the Rahman house, he discovered a locked wooden box soaked in dried blood. Inside, pages torn from his grandfather's hidden journal. The child we sacrificed didn't die. He stayed awake, beneath the soil. Rafiq learned the truth. He had a twin brother, born under a blood eclipse. Only one could live. The family chose Rafiq, but the other, Naim, was buried alive as an offering. And now, Naim's spirit had returned through him. Candle to be continued. That was episode 9, The Blood Memory. Rafiq's forgotten twin was the true heart of the curse. Next, episode 10, The Twin Beneath. Rafiq was never alone. The curse belonged to two. And now, the twin who was buried returns to take his place. This is episode 10, The Twin Beneath. Open book story. Rafiq felt Naim's memories flooding in. Childhood laughter, betrayal, screams in the dark, dirt choking his lungs. Every night, Naim's voice grew louder. It was supposed to be me. Rafiq's reflection now moved on its own. His left eye had turned red. He began to lose time, waking up in places he didn't remember, holding dirt in his hands, standing over fresh graves. Naim was winning. Candle to be continued. That was episode 10, The Twin Beneath. The body can only hold one soul. Episode 11, Possession Rooted, is next. The Ghost Call returns. As Rafiq and his buried twin battle for control of one's soul, the forest begins to rot from within. This is episode 11, Possession Rooted. Open book story. The bamboo grove had changed. Once green, now black and twisted. The ground bled when stepped on. Rafiq saw the villagers' ghosts again, but this time they didn't whisper. They screamed, "You brought him back. You made him whole." Naim, inside Rafiq's body, used the Eye of Return to anchor himself fully. Rafiq was dying slowly, his skin cracking, eyes going blind. But in one final journal page, Rafiq read, "Only blood freely given can unbind what was stolen. Candle to be continued." That was episode 11, Possession Rooted. The forest is sick. The soul is splitting. Next, episode 12, The Sacrifice Rewritten. The curse began with a sacrifice. Now, it can only end with one. This is episode 12, The Sacrifice Rewritten. Open book story. Rafiq had one choice: give himself completely, or rewrite the sacrifice by choosing someone else to take his place. He returned to the grove with a ritual blade. Naim's voice screamed in rage, "If I can't have this body, then no one will." But Rafiq knelt and carved both their names into the soil. "We go together, or not at all." The wind howled. The forest shook. The Watcher's eye burst in the sky. Candle to be continued. That was episode 12, The Sacrifice Rewritten. The ritual is broken, but not yet finished. Brace for episode 13, The Final Eclipse. Television episode 13, The Final Eclipse. As the blood moon returns, the last battle between twin souls begins. One body, one village, one end. This is episode 13, The Final Eclipse. Open book story. Under the final eclipse, Rafiq faced Naeem one last time in a mirror, glowing red. The ghost girl appeared, her form now whole. The village has chosen. Rafiq raised the blade, but Naeem stepped forward, this time not as a monster, but as a boy. You remember me now. That's enough. And with that, he vanished. The forest burned in red light, and the curse lifted. Candle to be continued. That was episode 13, the final eclipse. The shadows are gone, but one secret remains. Don't miss the final episode, Ashes of Chhayabagan. This is it. The finale of the Whispering Village. The truth behind the curse, the family, the sacrifice. All burns to ashes now. This is episode 14, Ashes of Chhayabagan. Open book story. Years later, a child walks through a quiet forest. Birds sing. The bamboo is green again, but deep in the soil, an eye opens. Rafiq, now older, lives in a distant town. He receives a letter. The village remembers. The eye is never blind. Return, before the moon turns twice. He smiles bitterly. It never ends. Fade to black. That was the finale of the Whispering Village on the Ghost Call. A tale of blood, family, and fate. Thank you for watching this full series. Subscribe for more original Bengali horror stories. Because the next village is waiting.